Hey guys, it's Mink Expressions Guidance. I hope you all are having a beautiful, beautiful day. Grand rising to all. I want to talk about this energy that we've been in for a while, and it's very culminating, it's very revealing. We have the sun energy in the upright, the sun that is coming in to shed light on this Three of Swords, this very painful energy that we have been in. The light of God is coming in to shed light on the darkness, on the shadows, on the pain that you have endured, the struggles, the injustices, the shadows. There's been shadows around this Three of Swords. There's been cloudy, unclear motives for why this Three of Swords has taken place and why you still feel the heaviness and the pain lingering around. We have the sun was clarified by the Three of Swords and the Tower. These towers that were built up by karmic masculine energies, false energies, people who appear to be walking in the light that are actually walking in the shadow, people who don't care or are too uncomfortable to come out from the shadow. This tower is causing a disruption in the many unstable foundations that have been built off of lies, built off of deception, built off of ego. Things that we have been lying to ourselves about. You've had people around you casting shadows and illusions about who you are as a person. People shining their own diluted light upon you, casting judgments upon who they think you are, when we're finding out this is a mere reflection of their own filthy, unrighteous energy. The tower is coming in to expose with the light. You see how we have this light energy here? And on both sides, we have darkness. We have pain. It's like this is what we've had. This is what we've been in. Tower after tower after tower. False foundations built on lies. Heartbreak, pain, because of living in illusions, of walking within the shadow of what others feel that we truly are. Thinking, if someone believes this about me, that this must be true. It must be true. The way they treat me, it's real. We take it as factual information. We take this as fact. until the light comes in and casts the shadows away. And that the light is seeping in to where those things that we have been bound by are dissipating. The pain that we're beginning to feel is rising to the surface to be released. But we have to we have to watch the tower crumble. You have to watch the debris that is spilling out of this tower, because it's very important to understand the elements that have been ingrained into you, that have made you who you are. It's understanding the false foundation that you have been standing on and why it has to crumble. And the fact that new beginnings are often disguised as endings. That when something is being birthed and it's shaking the ground, it shakes, everything is moving and shaking and crumbling because the weed has become so strong that it's growing up in between the cracks. It's shaking. Everything is moving and shaking and crumbling. Everything is falling out. It's purging. Every false foundation is being shaken. Everything is blowing up. Keep your heart and your mind centered on this tower. Not for negative purposes, but to understand the negativity that these towers have been built upon. Everything that's crumbling to the ground, it can't stand because it's not built on truth. Who you are is not a mere reflection of what everyone says that you are. Therefore, it can't stand. We have at the top, we have the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, and then it's clarified by the Empress. This Eight of Pentacles here is a person that's putting in work when they're working. She's working on something. She's stacking. She's intently putting in an effort for something. Okay? But it came up in the reverse. And then it's clarified by the Empress. Okay? The Empress is God's divine chosen energy. It's the divine feminine. The divine feminine is very receptive to spiritual energy. Very in tune with the divine, the Holy Spirit, okay? This is about people who have refused to put in work with you. People who saw you as beautiful and divine. They saw you in your glory. They saw you for who you were. And guess what? They chose not to put in work with you. They didn't want to put in the work. So, because they didn't want to put in the work to change, to face themselves, to become clean, spiritually clean, because people can't approach the Empress and become connected in a partnership unless they are pure and divine and clean. Because if not, it's imbalanced. It's unequally yoked. So because they decided not to put in the work, they were looked at by the divine God as the high priest in reverse. And God has revealed that karmic masculine energy has been coming up against and rising up against the divine feminine. And karmic male energy, masculine energy, could be man or woman. You've been having men and women that are rising against you in order to test you, in order to diminish you, in order to take these keys of sun and moon, which is compromised energy, which is feminine and masculine energy, but sun and light, light and dark, casting shadows. This is high priest in the upright, but it came in the reverse. So these are people that are taking the keys of life and death and operating in the shadow because they are too uncomfortable to step into the light. So they would rather make you the problem and break your heart instead of fixing their own heart. Instead of turning themselves upright, they would rather cast shadows, cast illusions, play with fire energy, fight with fire, fire for fire, cast illusions with the moon, with shadow energy. Also, the moon represents the spirit, the divine feminine spirit, which is emotions. Using the emotions, using your emotions against you, breaking your heart and casting a shadow over you, to where instead of you seeing yourself in this glorious light of who you are, the Empress is the most powerful woman in the deck because she is all the queens mixed into one. She's the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. She knows when to take action. She knows where and how to spend her money, and she knows how to deliver clear communication. She graduated to the next level. She's intimidating because she's so powerful and she is so on point. Not everyone can take that kind of energy. It's very powerful energy of precision because she's mastered her abilities to communicate with the Most High. And so guess what? People who don't want to respect it, they want to become intimidated by it. They come in to test this spirit. And when they come up short, they get feelings of insecurity because they can't measure up. And instead of them recognizing that the hand of the divine is on your life, and that this is why you're powerful, this is why you're unshakable, what do? Instead of checking themselves, right? Looking at themselves in the mirror and measuring themselves with the Divine Empress, they can check in with themselves and measure their insecurities and weigh their heart against the perfect divine chosen being. When you have feelings of insecurity and doubt, it is your responsibility to check yourself and say, why am I feeling like this? Not, why am I getting uncomfortable feelings here? What is it about this person that causes these insecure feelings and doubts? That is your responsibility from God, is to check yourself. Instead, people want to go the lazy route, and they want to rise up against you, God's chosen energy. They want to emasculate you. They want to do what they did to Jesus. That's why he got crucified. And when you carry that same Christ-like divine energy within your being, you have people that rise up to the occasion to conquer you, to cast shadows and illusions, to make you doubt who you are as a person. Cast shadows so that you live under that shadow forever, versus stepping out from that shadow and seeing your true reflection. Okay, we have here the Ace of Cups in the reverse. This is a cup that's been dumped over. People that said F you. They've left you abandoned, broken. They casted you out. They literally left you to die. Literally. They saw you struggle. They didn't lift a finger to help you. They let you do it on your own, all by yourself. All the while, they smiled in your face and they said, I love you. But this is what they did. They determined your fate by walking away every time you needed them the most. They dumped their cup. This is what they decided to do. When the Ace of Cups came out and the reverse came out, it was clarified by the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Three of Pentacles is an energy of collaboration. This is where two or more, this is three people working in unison. This is a collaboration here. The Three of Pentacles is when people make plans and they follow through with their collaboration. This is a collaboration card. This is when people are deciding to work together in a collaboration. But because it came up in the reverse, they didn't decide to work with you. They made a decision, time and time again, not to collaborate. They initially dumped their cup in the first place when they decided not to work with you. And then they decided over and over, groups of people, that they were going to outcast you, that they were going to make you the problem. When they saw your light, they saw that you were special. But instead of embracing that and learning from that and becoming better and doing the work, they did the opposite. And so what did they decide to do after that? This is what this did to you. When people that you love and care about, that have come across your path, that have decided to dump their cup and not collaborate, even though your heart is involved. Knowing your heart is involved, knowing that you're a sweetheart, a real divine sweetheart, an earth angel, with a lot of kindness and love to give. It puts you in the Three of Swords. Heart broken, ripped out, shattered. It left you in this energy to where your heart got stomped on so many times and you were looked past so many times. People washed their hands of you. as if you were a burden, as if you had way too much baggage for anyone to help you carry, as if maybe that your energy was despicable. You couldn't understand why. You didn't understand your true nature and why. Why am I always going through this? Why do I always get kicked to the curb? Why do I get outcasted and rejected and talked about and looked at as if my energy is just despicable? As if I'm just too much to handle. I'm too much of a burden. I put too much on anyone's plate. No one has room enough on their plate for my energy. And guess what? When you get hurt over and over and over and over and rejected over and over and over, betrayed and talked about and crucified over and over, and demonized over and over and over and over, guess what? Your heart grows numb. You don't feel anything because your heart has been trampled over so bad. It's so bruised and so broken and so scarred that your heart has no choice but to shut down. And then you wonder why I don't feel anything. I'm still a loving person. You're still a loving person. But guess what? You were betrayed over and over and over again. And guess what that did? It made you numb, but it also put you in this Two of Swords. Back and forth between two thoughts of feeling like, I know I'm a good person on one hand, but then on the other hand, you're like, why do I feel so ugly? What is wrong with me? Why am I always alone? I'm doing all the things right. I'm a great person. Not receiving a harvest because you're pouring into being back and forth in between these two thoughts of if you're right or wrong, in or out, up or down, if you're in a black area, if you're in a white area. It's because people did that to you purposely because they were trying to avoid fixing themselves. So they wanted to place blame upon a person that was innocent, that didn't even know anything about their problems. Nothing about it. They didn't care that they left you in this Two of Swords, confused, wondering, searching, the fact that you were outcasted, that you were in the wilderness, the fact that you were in pain. They kept you here. And as you see, you should not have been confused at all about who you were. It was about people casting shadows because they didn't want to do the spiritual work because of the insecurity that they felt when you entered the room. Your presence intimidates people because your presence is so powerful. You have God's essence in your being inside of you that brings conviction. to people, and if they're not ready to face their shadow, they will cast the shadow that they feel you're casting onto them, which it's not you, it's God energy. They'll cast the shadow right back onto you and say, you're not going to put that shadow on me. I'm going to put it back on you. And then before you realize, you're like, why? Look at the moon in the background. Why am I under this constant shadow? And if you notice, the shadow of the moon is over one of these knives, which is one of the thoughts. You have two thoughts, and one is truth and clarity. The other one is the lie. You have the truth and you have the lie. The lie is backed by the illusion of the moon, which is clarity, illusion. And being back and forth in your head between which thought is the right one. Like, am I a good person or am I not? And being trapped in the thought that you want to believe good things about yourself, but you couldn't. You haven't been able to because of the illusion that was casted over you, that was blanketed over you by people who threw that blanket on top of you. And guess what? They left it there. They threw the blanket on top of you because it was easier for them to make you the problem. Cast the innocent one out of the group. Make them feel like they're the problem so that we don't have to face our faults. And then I'm going to end it with this because I have to wrap. I have more cards in here that I want to wrap up. But this is here backed by and clarified with the Ten of Swords, which is betrayal. Was that pain that I said, daggers in the heart, being backstabbed and betrayed over and over and over again, casting an innocent person into the shadow, leaving them confused about who they really are. People casted you into the shadow with a broken heart, betrayed you over and over and over again, leaving you in a place of confusion, unable to figure out who you really are, because you love these people and you value how they feel about you, how they look at you, how they view you. Why? Because these are the people that are supposed to care about you. But in the world of spirituality, blood is not thicker than water. Spirituality is a world of light and dark. You can have parents, you can have siblings, you can have dark and light family members. It doesn't matter what their title is. What matters is what spirit are they operating in and through? What has a hold of them that they cannot escape from? And how does that apply to you? I'm going to do a part 2.